We're here to bring a new type of news show.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bringing news just for you is Tuesday, December 23rd here in Seoul. I'm Isojin, and this is News Generation. Joining us today is Brooke.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming in. Also, Kim's with us today.
Good morning.
Good morning. Both are here to speak on behalf of people in their 20s and 30s. So it's the second day of the week, and today we're diving into a topic that's probably on many people's minds, especially in the mornings. Coffee. So whether it's to kickstart your day or to keep you going during a busy afternoon, coffee is a daily ritual for many of us. So let's talk coffee. So whether you're a latte lover, espresso enthusiast, or just someone who enjoys a simple black brew, we all have our favorite. So Brooke, what about you? Do you like coffee? If so, what's your favorite type of coffee?
I do like coffee. I would say that I prefer to get my caffeine from energy drinks. But when it comes to coffee, I like a hint of the coffee flavor in my dessert in a cup. That's what my friends call whatever I get at the cafe. Usually I'm that person who orders the cafe mocha or caramel macchiato, something sweet. Today I'm enjoying a goguma latte, which is a sweet potato latte. Does not have any coffee in it, so I don't think any authentic coffee drinker would call me a coffee drinker. But I do like the flavor. I don't think I fit in with the Korean coffee culture where everyone wants iced Americano, right? In fact, anytime I'm in some sort of group order, it's just a list of and means iced Americano in Korean. And then whatever chocolatey sweet concoction I get just sticks out like a sore thumb. So that's my take on coffee, but I'm still happy to be here and talk about it.
I agree. I feel like a lot of, especially men in Korea, tend to drink iced Americano exclusively. So what about you, Kim?
Yeah, being a man in Korea, I'm having my morning iced Americano or Yeah, I am a coffee lover as well, and my go-to coffee will be obviously iced Americano, even on a very cold day like today. But lately I've become kind of more interested in like high quality, like really not so expensive, but great coffee beans that are from Africa, which is also a great place where they produce like one of the highest quality coffee beans. So thanks to my brother, he came back from a business trip and he bought me coffee beans from Rwanda.
Wow.
And I'm like, Rwanda? But then I found out that they produce one of the best high quality coffee beans. So at home, I would actually have my hot Americano when I have the time to relax and have my pour over black coffee, and to really get to really enjoy the actual experience of having hot coffee, you know, sip by sip, really tasting the aroma and the smell as well.
Yeah, right.
But when I'm outside on the go working, just like today, the easier and like the quicker option will be the iced Americano, where I can just quickly get my kick of caffeine right in the morning to wake me up. So I do appreciate both, but I guess being a still MZer, I do prefer my iced Americano over hot coffees.
What would you say is the difference between those coffee beans from Rwanda versus just normal ones?
Oh, well, if you'll know it if you actually try it.
I see.
It smells different and it tastes different.
Like
and
richer?
you're like, much richer, and you're like, oh, maybe this is the main difference. Like, I'm not saying like the cheaper ones don't taste good, but once you try the real expensive, high quality beans, you're like,
Can't go back.
You can't go, but you're like, this is a reason why people indulge it so much. You know, they put in so much time and effort and even money to have these coffees.
I've always wondered. People say there is a big difference.
There is a
between
big difference,
premium
yeah.
blends and then those budget-friendly ones, but it's interesting. So we're going to dive deeper into this topic, but first, let's take a look at the screen. Many people start their day with a cup of coffee. It's more than just a drink. It's a little boost of energy that helps them power through the day. And just like our personalities, everyone's coffee preferences are different. Some like it ice cold even in the middle of winter, while others prefer it decaffeinated. Today on News Generation, we're taking a closer look at Korea's coffee culture, how people choose their coffee, the unique habits and trends, and what makes Korea's coffee scene unique. As we just saw in a video, coffee in Korea isn't just about the drink itself, it's much more than that. It's a part of daily life, a social ritual, and even a way to express personal preferences. So whether it's catching up with friends at a cafe or grabbing a quick cup before heading into work, coffee is woven into the fabric of Korean culture. But what's really interesting is a trend we're seeing among young Koreans, especially when it comes to iced coffee, which you mentioned in the beginning of the show. So, Keen, why do you think young Koreans enjoy iced coffee even in the winter months? And you said you do as well.
Yes, including myself. Young Koreans really enjoy iced coffee throughout the year. And they were even coined the word 얼죽아, which basically means you would have iced coffee even on freezing days when you would actually freeze to death. So even in cold days, as you see on the screen, people would hold their iced coffees with like padded jackets on. And to back this trend, surveys show that almost 60% of young Korean MZers prefer to have iced coffee regardless of the season and weather. And when asked why they chose this cold coffee over hot coffee, they said it was better. It was a better drink to wake them up in the morning, and it really helped them right before they actually started studying. And it was really good when they needed to really concentrate a lot during work or even study. And I am an 얼죽아 as well, having these cold drinks even in winter, cold days. And also some famous K-pop stars have come out as 얼죽아s as well, and it really garnered more attention from overseas fans, obviously, mostly. And they was thinking, oh, what is this ice? Why are they so crazy about iced Americanos? And they started actually looking into it, drinking more. Whereas I guess in overseas, hot coffee, black coffee is more common drink for coffee. Like you don't see many people drinking iced coffee in overseas, especially in Australia. Of course, in Australia as well. But I think it's just a kind of like a Korean trend as well. They like to have the cold drink. Because we get stressed a lot at work. It gets heated.
I also tend to drink iced coffee too, so maybe that's why. I guess, and people say it's a go-to for staying alert and focused. And speaking of trends, I've also noticed more decaf options in cafes, which makes me happy as someone who can't drink coffee to see these options available. So is it true? Are more young Koreans drinking more decaf?
Yes, that is in fact true. About 1 out of 3 Korean millennial and Gen Z coffee drinkers chooses decaffeinated coffee. And there are reasons for this. For people like you who might be sensitive to caffeine, drinking coffee can give them the jitters, that it causes these unpleasant side effects like heart palpitations or difficulty sleeping. So decaf coffee lets them enjoy the taste and aroma of coffee as well as the atmosphere of the cafe without having to deal with those issues. And so to appeal to those customers, nowadays most cafes in Korea are offering decaf options on their menus, which I think is great, especially because in Korean culture we have something called icha, right? Where you finish your dinner or whatever activity you're doing and then you go somewhere else, and oftentimes that is a cafe. And so if it's the evening, you don't want to have a cup of coffee that's caffeinated, you'll be staying up all night. So now with these decaf options, you can still enjoy a cafe without the sleeping issues that come with it.
So as a decaf fan myself, I love how it lets people enjoy the taste and aroma of coffee without worrying about caffeine keeping me up or making my heart race. I'm also glad that cafes now widely offer decaf options for those who want them. And to highlight coffee that's uniquely Korean this time, Kyun, Korea is famous for its instant coffee mix, so can you tell us a bit about its history?
Right, so it dates back to 1976 when a company invented a one-serving coffee stick package that consisted of small portion of ground coffee, sugar, and cream powder. So it was an instant all-in-one coffee mix, as you see on the screen. Just rip the head off and just pour it into the cup and just add hot water. That's all you need to do. It became a huge hit because it reflected the 빨리빨리, meaning quick culture of Koreans, where they didn't have the patience and time to add one ingredient at a time. So they just needed everything in just one go, very quickly. And because of its popularity, in 2017, the Ministry of Intellectual Property selected the mixed coffee sticks as 5th from 10 greatest inventions in Korea. And I guess like even a couple of years ago, a lot of people considered people who drank these mixed coffees as 아재, meaning middle-aged men. But the story is very different now. A lot of young people have jumped on this new trend of enjoying these mixed coffees because it's not as, I guess, bitter or sour as the real coffee beans. It's a lot sweeter and milder in the sense that it doesn't taste too like
Bitter.
bitter. So it's I guess if you people who like sweet things, this is a great menu. Yeah, like Brooke. And now we're seeing more of these coffee menu items in many cafe franchises, showing its rising popularity of coffee sticks again.
I had it for the first time actually last year. I was kind of
Last year? Okay.
skeptical about it, but then I had it. It was actually really good. It
really
is
good.
quite sweet. It's quite also addicting.
Oh, maybe
as
I
well.
would like it. I'll have
I
to
feel like
try
you would
some.
enjoy it if you like sweet things as well. So there's also, it's really popular within Korea, but do you think it's popular outside of Korea?
Yes, apparently it is quite popular overseas. It's one of the most common souvenirs that foreigners buy when they visit Korea, and many expats living here also purchase it locally just to drink it at home. Now, if you take a look at the screen, we're going to show you some numbers related to this. By September of this year, exports of Korean coffee products, including mixed coffee, reached 283 million US dollars, which is a 16% increase compared to the same period last year when it was roughly $244 million. And in fact, as you're seeing here, mixed coffee was ranked as the most delicious drink foreigners tried in Korea. 53% of respondents chose mixed coffee as their favorite, and that beat out shikhae, which is a traditional sweet Korean rice beverage, at 26%, meishil tea, made from fermented green plums, at 11%, yulmu tea, which is made from roasted and ground jobs tears, at 6%, and sujeonghwa, or cinnamon punch, at 4%.
So it's amazing to see mixed coffee outshine traditional drinks like shikhae, the traditional Korean sweet rice drink, or meishil tea, the green plum fruit drink, abroad. So we wanted to also find out what you thought too about this. So we asked on the Arirang News YouTube channel, which Korean coffee trend is your favorite? So here's what the results showed. IcedAmericano takes the lead with 49% enjoying it all year around. Instant mixed coffee follows closely at 22%, while 9% prefer decaffeinated coffee. The remaining 20% either have other favorites or don't have a particular preference. So it's truly interesting to see IcedAmericano actually at the top. So even in the winter, it looks like young Koreans are really sticking with their favorite cold coffee. And instant mixed coffee is also holding strong too, showing that classic flavors aren't going anywhere. And it's nice to see decaf getting some love for those who want the taste without the caffeine kick. So to get a more in-depth view on this, we're going to talk to a cafe owner here in Korea. And that conversation will come right after the break, so don't go anywhere.
NewsGen wants to hear from you. Go to YouTube and search out channel Arirang News. Click Posts and cast your vote in the poll. Make a new type of news with us.
Joining us today is Peter, an owner of an Australia-themed cafe here in Korea. So hi, Peter. Thank you so much for connecting with us today.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me back.
So I've always wanted to ask this to a cafe owner. So what is your favorite type of coffee?
So if it's during the week time when I don't have much time, I'll normally have a hot latte or a cappuccino, something like that. But if I'm on the weekend, it's normally something pretty nice, like in our cafe we call it a or죽아의 latte. It's a iced latte with ice cream on top. Pretty good.
Wow, that sounds delicious and like something I would like to try. My question for you is, what's a signature coffee of Australia, and is there something unique about its coffee culture?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure you guys are aware that Australian coffee culture is pretty world-renowned. One of probably the two things I can think of that's pretty common is we call it a flat white. It's a little bit smaller sized latte. So it's a bit more stronger flavor and it's a bit more nicer. But then also, like I said, the or죽아의 latte that we have here is also something pretty popular in Australia as well. I think those are the two main things that I would say are very common. But also hot coffees, like you guys were talking about earlier, was pretty popular as well.
Yeah, so I remember we used to call it long black back in Australia, long black and flat white. So what do you think is special about the Korean coffee culture compared to, I guess, Australia or other countries from your experience?
So what I've realized, well, being operating this cafe here, is like Koreans like a lot of unique things. Like in Australia, it would just be like a hot coffee with milk, like a cappuccino, latte. there wouldn't be too many hot cold drinks options normally. But here it seems like there's a lot more, like you were referring to earlier, a lot of iced coffee, a lot of like unique flavors like the gugama lattes, a lot of teas are drunk as well at the cafes. And I noticed that we've got it here now. We've got low caffeine coffee, which is a bit of a unique sort of thing to probably Korea as well. So it's not as strong as like a normal coffee, but it's not as weak as a normal decaf, which is pretty interesting to see that a few people seem to be enjoying that sort of trend now.
As someone who enjoys decaffeinated coffee, I think that's something I'd also want to check out as well. So anyways, thank you so much for joining us today.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we just talked to a cafe owner here in Korea who gave us some great insights into both Australia's and Korea's local coffee culture. But when it comes to what drives coffee choices here, it seems there is a clear difference between the generations. So Kyun, what are the factors that Koreans considered when choosing their coffee?
So just to talk about people in their 20s and 30s, beginning with people in their 20s, 70% of those in their 20s students being majority of them said affordable price is the key factor when choosing their coffees. Now those in their 30s who I guess have a bit more economic stability compared to those in their 20s, 48% said taste and quality is the most important, while 45% responded saying accessibility of cafes is the key factor. So which I can very much relate to. Other than high quality and great taste of coffees, it has to be very accessible. Even though we live in a city where you can see pretty much cafes in every single building, you need to have one on the first floor of the building you're in, which is here as well in Arirang. There's a cafe on the first floor. It becomes very accessible. I mean, we can obviously take the time to walk about 5 minutes or a couple of blocks to find a great specialty coffee place. But if there's one franchise cafe downstairs that's like, what, a couple of seconds away, I think many people, including myself, in their 30s would actually choose that coffee shop instead of, I guess, traveling a bit more to get their, I guess, the better quality coffee.
Makes sense.
I think you did definitely see this, especially during the week. I think people like, cafes are closer to them and also more budget friendly. So it's interesting to see how price plays a key role. So speaking of, let's now talk about the cultural aspect of coffee choices here in Korea. So how much do you think of Korea's known for its very fast-paced culture? We mentioned the 빨리빨리 culture earlier. How much does that influence coffee preferences here?
Well, I think that definitely there's the, 빨리빨리 culture that shapes coffee drinking behaviors. But I think I want to let Gi-hoon talk a little bit more about this.
Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, the quick culture has shaped coffee drinking behaviors of Koreans. So instead of enjoying their hot coffee sip by sip over food or snacks in a really relaxing atmosphere, I think Koreans prefer the cold version so they can immediately get the caffeine kick through the straws. I've seen a lot of men, including myself, as soon as we order our iced coffee, we will drink almost half of the iced coffee in just one gulp, one sip. It just shows how it really reflects our culture. Even in the drinking scene as well, we don't take our time drinking. We want to get in there, get the food, get the drinks, get drunk as soon as we can, and then move to each other second round. So I think it really reflects our, I guess, working culture or just our social behaviors in general. And I think the same theory applies to the mixed coffee sticks, which is much more convenient. It saves time. All you need to do is just rip the head off, pour it into a cup and just add hot water, and that's it. You've made your coffee. It's very different to how a lot of real coffee lovers would take their time to actually, pour their hot water over those hand-drip coffees and just enjoy that experience. So it's very different here in Korea.
So when people appreciate the quick, efficient, and on-the-go coffee culture is reflected in their coffee preferences as well. And speaking of coffee culture, many people recommend visiting Korean cafes, not just for the coffee, but for the experience itself. So Brooke, to close off our discussion today, what aspect of Korea's coffee scene would you recommend to foreigners?
Well, I agree with you. I think Korean cafes are not just places to drink coffee. If you walk into them, you will see the aesthetics are beautiful. There will be young people taking pictures. So they're famous for having this great atmosphere, to the point where people even use the term cafe tour as if they're visiting tourist destinations. So what it means is you can go into some cafes and watch the actual behind the scenes coffee roasting process. And many of these cafes offer a wide variety of premium beans if you're more of a coffee connoisseur like our Ki-hoon here. And I will say, as a former student, I recommend settling into one of these local cafes and enjoying some drinks and pastries while you study. That is one of the favorite pastimes of many young Koreans. It'll really give you a taste of that Korean coffee culture. And for sure, if you're planning a trip to Korea, I would definitely pencil in some cafe touring. Just find some that match your personal preferences. Look at many of the pictures online and add it to your itineraries so that you can experience Korean coffee culture for yourself.
So as we've seen today, coffee in Korea is more than just a drink. It's almost become a culture experience that's constantly evolving. So whether it's the fast-paced convenience of iced coffee or the growing appreciation for premium blends, coffee culture here reflects the lifestyles of each generation. It's clear that there's so much to enjoy. So the next time you're in Korea, make sure to explore the local coffee scene. So whether you're grabbing a quick IcedAmericano or sailing in for a cafe tour, there's always something new to discover. So that brings us to the end of today's episode of News Generation. But News Gen will be back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Korea time with more stories and discussions. A big thanks to Brooke.
Thank you. It was great to be here.
Also Kyun.
Always a pleasure.
And to our viewers, thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope you have the best day. We are
News Generation.